right, everyone. Welcome back to the Off Court Paddle Podcast.
Woo!
The paddle podcast covering all your paddle needs. We are your hosts. This is Connor, as you all know. I'm Hugh. Welcome back. It's been a while.
I know, been a minute. We had a little summer break. We went away. We were doing our things. So did the rest of the paddle players. They also went on holiday too. But we got a bit of an incredible tournament that just happened in Madrid, right? And we're kind of living off the highs and the fumes of that.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to get back into it. And yeah, we're here now.
It was absolutely an incredible tournament to start off the school year.
Yes.
Players are back in school and paddle is super back.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to dive deep into the Madrid P1. Before we do that, Connor, give us a brief catch up. How's life? How was your summer? Paddle? Everything?
Fantastic. You know, seeing this tournament come back, it was kind of nice to take a little breather, refresher. We love paddle. We love playing it as well. Obviously, we continued playing paddle during the break and everything like that. And yeah, through Playtomic, matched up with a really good player. So I'm playing with him tomorrow. So I'm very, very excited.
Nice.
And yeah, tennis player that hardly played any paddle, but this guy like smashes from the back of the court, which is insane. I've never seen it that far back before. So Frank, that's for you, bro. Let's get it. Let's get our dub tomorrow. And yeah, everything's all good. I'm just dying to get into this episode. But also, Hugh, catch us up a little bit.
Yeah, it's been good. Went back home, played quite a bit of paddle in Spain, which was great. Just had a game this morning before coming here.
How did that go down?
Yeah, it was actually we lost, but it was a really good game. Very competitive, long rallies. Both the opponents were really good players, very solid. And I played on the left today, which I don't usually do.
Got down.
It was nice, but I found I don't know, I'm usually play on the right, so lobs on my towards the fence are easier for me because they're on my right hand.
Yeah.
But they kind of really found a sweet spot on the lobs that they did either on top of my head,
right,
or really close to my left shoulder, so I couldn't really get. I had to play the rulo, which isn't one of my strongest shots. So that was a bit awkward.
They were picking on you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, it was great.
Incredible.
It was awesome.
Well, yeah, we're here. It's great to be back in the studio with you guys. And, you might notice Hugh has a different mic to me. If there's a little discrepancy with the audio, our apologies. Hugh left his mic in Spain, which is really awesome considering we have a podcast. But we're here now with a backup mic. And all I want to do is talk about the Rampage of Nenno and Augsburger. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you guys were over the moon as well, but just seeing, obviously we're going to run through the quarters, semis, and finals as we normally do. But my eyebrows and my ears and all of my goosebumps on my body were tingling a little bit when we saw a quarterfinal game against Galán, ranked number 2 pairing, super consistent all year. And we get a Nenno Augsburger matchup. And they beat them in 2 sets, right? And we go, okay, they had a little summer holiday, but it felt like they came in kind of hot, ready to go.
It could be like a one-game thing. Maybe they were just on points.
Yes.
Whatever. You're like, well, they still have semis and a final to play. We'll see how that goes.
Exactly. And I will put my hands up because I was probably maybe in a small minority here of people who didn't believe in this pairing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have a lot of faith when they paired up. When Cardona and Augsburger split up, a lot of question marks were raised because they were the ones that were putting a lot of pressure on Coello and Tapia.
Yeah.
Potentially the only pairing that was kind of stressing them out and giving them nightmares, as Coello said, right? And I got proven wrong, and I'll accept that. And I know this is just one tournament, and I'm excited to see how the next, or the rest of the season really plays out with these guys. But oh my God, man, they did their little tour, man. They took on
number 3s, number 2s, and number 1s.
Exactly.
First time that it's ever been done in Premier Padel history.
The big 3, man.
Get it, knocking out the big 3 in the same tournament. It was absolutely crazy. We've got lots to say about this new pairing analysis that we've cooked up for you guys over here.
Let's jump into it.
Let's do it. Let's jump right in. Before that, vibes of Madrid P1 quickly.
Madrid, one of the homes of paddle, right? 14,000 people attending. Mm-hmm. Amazing stadium. Won't hate on it too much. not a big fan of the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders in the
Bull
middle.
paddle
of the-
dancers.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but
it's
you
a
know,
bit weird.
I can't hate on it. It's a little bit of entertainment, and there's moments in a sport like paddle where players aren't on the court, so let's throw on 9 dancers, and they had their costume changes and everything, and I get it. We got to give the people what they want, and hopefully maybe some people out there enjoyed it. I just thought it was a little bit strange.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw them live. They've been doing this for a while. I saw them live in
Who keeps hiring
in the
them?
Barcelona finals. They had the bull paddle dancers as well.
Yes, yeah.
It is a bit cringe. It's a bit weird, but it's what I told you on text. I don't know if you guys agree. Paddle is still it just got it's like first round of acne. It's like 12, 13. They're like
In
the
puberty.
sport is it's like trying out new outfits.
Yes.
Maybe has a bit of an emo phase.
Yeah,
It's not a phase, mom. You know,
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
trying out things to see
a
what
small
sticks.
identity crisis,
Yeah,
maybe, and
yeah.
they're trying to figure themselves out. A little bit of like a U.S. sports energy, kind of like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, but like maybe not on that level, maybe. And you know what?
I don't know if cheerleading has a space in paddle. It definitely has a space in like American football, basketball, all that stuff. But it feels like a weird mix, like a weird connection.
It is what it is, and we'll see if they stick through it. And someone keeps hiring them, so
Yeah.
let's not hate on them too much, because it's a little bit of fun at the end of the day. Some good vibes, everything like that. Even I was laughing about it to Hugh when Augsburger almost had an injury in the finals, and shout out to the production crew getting this kiss cam going, because it was so strange to watch and felt so forced. It felt like that Coldplay moment when there was like the couple that got exposed for cheating on each other. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. I love live moments like that.
Yeah.
That's why I love watching the live games outside of paddle as well. But
Full arena as well, 14,000 people. The crowd turnout was great. Everything worked. As you know, Premier Padel
there's no issues.
had a bit of a history with postponing matches, stinky courts or whatever.
Yeah.
So this felt like it was pretty straightforward. They breezed through it. And,
For paddle fans like us, there's not much to complain
Yeah.
about, which
Yeah.
is a good thing, I reckon.
Yeah.
And all we can talk about is the games,
Yeah.
which let's do it right now. So as I said, we kind of all got shocked a little bit. I don't know if you guys also had that feeling in your stomach when Nenno and Augsburger took that first set 6-4, and you're kind of just waiting for Galán, Chingotto to wake up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's 6-3 in the next set, and they just won the game. And like, it is kind of incredible, because it's this pairing, right, that on paper it made sense. And maybe when Nenno and Augsburger played their like 1 or 2 tournaments as a new pairing, it didn't really come to fruition, really. But the idea of Leo Augsburger's smash, Nenno's consistency, which I really just want to shout out both of them right now.
Right.
But I think really MVP of the tournament is Leo Augsburger.
Yeah.
He's the one that impressed me
Yeah.
the most anyway.
Yeah.
But really Martin Nenno.
But I mean, it really is like a team effort. Obviously,
Yes.
it's like, how in football strikers usually always get like the golden boot and the Ballon
Yes.
d'Or and stuff like that. Obviously, an offensive player that gives, like all the smashes and all the like most of the winners and the big, more like flashy and showy.
the glory of it.
The glory of it, they will obviously get more attention just because it's more like appealing to the human eye, I guess.
Yes.
But you cannot sleep on Nenno.
No.
Didn't come from an amazing, like this year hasn't been great for him after splitting up with Stupa. The pairings didn't really work for him like last year. With Stupa, he made many, many semis continuously.
Yeah.
And this year's been a bit tough. He even said it himself, So seeing him come back and just showing the level of this isn't anything new, but this guy is, with Chingo probably like, he's definitely
Yes.
top 2 right-hand players in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I'll definitely give him those flowers.
and we'll see now with the stats, numbers don't
Yeah.
lie. The numbers in terms of like consistency and unforced error this guy makes is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's
Um,
incredible. I mean, look,
yeah.
the scoreline was 6-3, 6-4, right? Yeah. But even if we have the stats up here, and I don't want to jinx it, but it's really nice that we have paddle intelligence back, and like let's keep gatekeeping it for now. But look, we have 20 unforced errors for Augsburger Nenno, 21 unforced errors for Chingalan,
So
right?
not a big difference there.
But really, when you look at the winners here, it's 32 against 28, which like isn't a huge gap at the same time. But this is when you can really rely on Augsburger's sort of like what's the word, like tenacity, really, because Nenno mellows him out. You know, the consistency
it's the perfect combo.
Exactly.
It's the old school, I guess, classic paddle combo, which we've talked about a million times, right? Of offensive and defensive pairing,
which we've seen kind of stray away a little bit, especially when, you know, Augsburger was playing with Cardona, right? Like, and those guys were just pure raw power, and you know, they also got figured out pretty fast as well.
And you've got like the Kokiyanguas, you've got the Golden Boys, you've got other pairings that have now sort of, players are starting to smash and be more offensive on the right hand side, like Yanguas, for example, or I don't know, Fran Guerrero, other players. So but these guys are like betting on like a heightened version of, because you've got like probably the most, or one of the most offensive players in the world paired up with the definition of defense.
Yeah, no, literally
consistency.
He's just a wall, you know, Nenno. Like he can literally return anything and stay so cool, calm, collective, set up points, really, which is like, you know, it's not that it's going to be repetitive, but like to really see these guys play in their peak form, understand their strategy going forward, and how they actually both interact when they're really like, you know, dialed in, I guess, man. And it's like, yeah, okay, the consistency comes from Nenno, the power comes from Augsburger. But really, the moment that you can tell that they're in full control of the game is their volleys at the net.
Yeah.
Right? And they take the net with so much confidence. And to see, you know, and obviously we're going to talk about Coello and Tapia and Stupa, Lebrón and everything like that. But even Galán stuck at the back of the court and they're just holding it down. You know, obviously we praise Augsburger for his smash, but even his volleys, you know, going forward,
really
are
good.
just insane, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think the one of the main differences this time around, because Augsburger's always been, you know, he's been a up-and-coming player for a while now. His World Cup was incredible. Like, you know, when he was paired with Libag, they were, you know, but I think maybe it's been this summer break where he's like gone like Coello, Tapia, and just like train. But you could really see now the difference in, before Augsburger was really like, it's just like, okay, massive smash.
Yeah.
And then the rest is like, you know, a 7 out of 10, the rest of his shots and the rest of his like skills, basically. But now, dude, defensively in the corner, he's really good. I think what he learned with Cardona, because obviously when they were paired up, and which gave a lot of nightmares, as you said, to many players, their strategy was, as we said, was strangulation. Right? It was like, let's make the court half the size and let's like cut out the air.
Yeah.
No time, no oxygen, no nothing. We're just going to like try and finish the point as quickly as we can.
Exactly.
So he's brought those super crisp and sliced volleys with him back to, so, you know, now we've got a smash, we've got volleys, and then, you know, also in many other areas, like rulos and other, you know, shots, he's also gotten better.
It's coming out, that's for sure. Like, you know, this guy's 21 years old, right? Like, he's still super young. Yeah. And there's a great quote, we'll bring it up later, from Nenno, right? Just praising his skill already. But yeah, you know, he's you know, he's not even one to watch. He's already on the radar for a lot of people here. And and it's great to see this new pairing. Like, I love seeing a new pairing come together, and
when it actually works,
it makes sense. Like, it's working.
Yeah, and
like,
it's
it actually does.
It's like that like Venn diagram where like they both have so many strengths, but when they both join, that like little intersection in the middle, the sweet spot is really really good.
Their yin and yang was like in form this tournament, and I really wish like it keeps coming back just to see their pressure and like, you know, the confidence they have for taking out the top 3 in one tournament, back-to-back games. Like, come on, man, like that's fucking incredible.
And I think like obviously Nenno, we've, you know, he's not new. He's, you know, considered like a semi-veteran player now. I mean, he's still young.
He's still very young.
I don't mean it by age. I just mean it by like in terms of experience and the time he's been in the game already, you know. But Augsburger, I feel like he's a really exciting player to watch as well. He's fun to watch.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, he is hot-headed, but he's no Paquito, he's no Lebrón where he like completely throws a game away. He's like the way he gets the crowd on his side.
I love that, and
how he needs the crowd in order to play better. You know,
those are the moments though when, you know, if I was playing against, you know, Augsburger, but like if, you know, their opponents, when Leo switches on and he's dialed in and he starts turning towards the crowd and just asking for their support. Like, that is like the scariest moment ever there, because he just wants it all, and he wants all the smoke, and he's ready to give it. And seeing him wind up for his smash is just like insane. He turns into jelly, man, and he's just
crazy.
like, there's no bones in his body, and then he just generates so much top spin that the ball just like pops up.
And the
so
thing
high.
is, like, he's not even smashing like most of the smashes this tournament, because everyone already knows that lobbing him is not an option.
Yeah.
Unless it's like perfect and you catch him on the back foot or something. He's smashing from the Nenno side.
Yes, yeah, he crosses over.
The speed at which he moves to cross over to get the smash from there, as soon as he can see the player setting up for a lob and he knows it's going to go to the Nenno side, most likely, and he just goes, mine. And Nenno just like ducks or just like goes to the side and just lets him rip.
That's
Dude,
incredible.
It's crazy.
They're absolute beasts. So if we mentioned some stats already here, but like obviously, I'll flash them up now. Okay, we've seen the winners, the unforced errors, but really, the big thing is the break points as well.
There you go.
2 out of 5 break points, 5 opportunities, putting that pressure on Galán.
Mm-hmm.
Galán had 2 breakpoint opportunities, but couldn't convert any of them, right?
Not a lot of great smashes from Galán, which is a bit strange to see. 20 winners and 14 unforced errors, which is not a great ratio.
No, it's
8
incredible.
out of 10 smashes. And then we see Augsburger with 16 out of 21.
Yeah.
And let's just point out here, because this is going to keep coming up, I think.
Right.
Look at, this is a perfect example. 27 winners by Augsburger.
Yeah.
32 total for the team.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Like the as we said, the combination of, but then we've got 13 unforced errors for Augsburger, but 7 for Nenno. Only Chingotto matches that. Nenno gives him the consistency and, as you said, like the coolness that he needs in order for Augsburger to risk it and play his game.
It's the fire and ice combination, man.
Exactly,
like
literally, it works, and it works really, really, really well. Which is super awesome.
And this is just at the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
We're just here at the quarterfinals. They took out Galán, and they win it in 2 sets, as we said. And we go, okay, hang on a second. Tomorrow,
that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think? Because in my head, I was like, okay, Stupa Lebrón. I was like, I could very much see it going both ways.
Yes.
But I'd be surprised if they win. I put my money on Stupa Lebrón. And if they were to win that, then they have to face the monsters. They have to face the number ones, and then honestly, I'll say it now, guilty.
Yeah, me too.
I was convinced that Coello Tapia were going to win.
Me too, man. I think everyone was. I think that's why this tournament was great, because it was just full of shock, really, and kind of just like these two like sort of going against everyone's expectations. And I think that's like a great moment in sport, really, when everyone loves an underdog, right? And they are the underdog. They're ranked 7 in terms of the pairings, and they took out 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Back to back, like obviously we've said it already, but it's never been done before, because it is by far like not an easy thing to do, and it's a rarity, really. That's why this tournament's very special for them.
Also, I think, and this for what Nenno said, and we'll talk about this as well, Augsburger has now, with 2 different partners, beaten the number 1s, the number 2s, and the number 3s twice.
Exactly.
Each,
yeah.
For 6 total times of going up against 1, 2, or 3 and winning the game.
It's like that's
common denominator there is Augsburger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. His name does flash up now when you look at the future of paddle a little bit, right?
So I mean,
he's there, man, and he's not and he's gaining this confidence already at such a young age, and he's finding the right teammate, and that's why I'm excited to see how they do next tournament in Paris, and to see how they go forward. But this is kind of what we wanted, right? We've been doing this podcast for almost a year now, but we've been watching paddle for a little bit longer than that. And like all of you guys, it's inevitable that there will be like there's going to be a top pairing in any sport. And this is a conversation we've had before, but to see the cracks might not be the right word, but someone to shake the podium a little bit and say, I want it just as much as you guys, and I deserve it as well. This is an incredible testament, this tournament alone, right? Like, just to see how that plays out for them, and the confidence and the accolades they get with it.
Because, I mean, for the past 2 years, it's been, the race, we keep talking about the race and the competitiveness on the women's side. It's super exciting, but then we've got the men's side, which has been completely dominated by 4 players, by 2 pairings. mostly the Golden Boys, but like Galán there for the past 2 years. It's been either one or the other, one or the other, one or the other in 95% of the cases. And like it was like unthought of that someone would, Cardona Augsburger beat them a few times in the quarters, but like in terms of winning tournaments, one thing is beating top pairs, the other one is winning an entire tournament. Playing a final isn't easy.
No,
like,
the stress alone,
like
alone, and the pressure.
It's not the same playing quarters, semis, or final. It gets increasingly more difficult and requires a lot more concentration, level-headedness, kind of like
oh my gosh,
calm, collected. Like you need experience for this stuff. It's like Coello and Tapia are like, it's just another rodeo for them.
Exactly.
But coming up and
even for Nenno as well, though, that's the thing. Like he hasn't been in that position in a very long time.
He hasn't played like the last time Nenno played a final and actually won was 2020. It was with Lebrón when they won Finland.
Right, okay.
Last year. Before that, it was with Stupa, New Giza.
Right.
So, and he hasn't been playing many finals.
That makes it even more special,
since.
Man.
He had his Garrido phase.
Yeah, that Garrido.
For like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. But look, we just hit the quarters, really. We want to keep following their road to the semis, which we're going to get into now, right? It's like against Stupa Lebrón. And this is actually a game that I had to play catch up on, but Hugh was watching it as well. So I want to hear what Hugh's sort of initial feelings were before the game started, as you kind of briefly mentioned already.
Yeah.
Your money was kind of on Stupa Lebrón.
I mean, just because of ranking. At the same time, I wasn't like, this is going to be easy. I was like, I really want to watch this because it's going to be a very interesting, intense game. But if I had to bet on something, obviously I think if you went on a betting app and looked at the odds, surely they were in favor of, just because 100%. As anyone would expect, I think. But it was a great game. 3-setter. Right. Absolute, very, very exciting. We had
let's, break it down set by set, right? The feelings in the first set, right? And Stupa Lebrón took it to 6-3.
Yeah. I mean, I think, first of all, just as like generally, this entire game, Stupa MVP by far,
okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Even though he lost, if you look at his contribution index, his stats, everything, and if you watch the game, Stupa was on fire.
Yeah, he was carrying.
He was completely carrying it. He dominated Burger on the cross court.
Right.
Augsburger wasn't really able to block those bibodas that Stupa was sending to his side. They kind of like went past him.
Right.
And Stupa's, he's really good at that. He was putting them in the corner, catching him on the back foot, so he'd have to play off the wall. But even playing off the wall, he didn't get a good return or put them on the net or something.
So he was kind of putting a lot of pressure on
so
Augsburger,
they were lobbing Stupa, trying to push the net, but then Stupa really found like spaces around Augsburger's side. So that's how it started. It was sort of semi-easy first set
6-3.
for Stupa Lebrón. They took it, fair and square, and it was, as I said, it wasn't very competed for Augsburger Nenno. But smashes from Stupa as well were working really well in that first set. Not a lot of smashes from Augsburger. He wasn't playing great, as I said, in that set. And for me, again, we say this a lot, but like Lebrón was playing great, in my opinion.
Right.
No
stinky attitude coming out yet?
Not yet, because he was winning. And I'll come to this later, and I want to get your opinion. But I just wrote down Lebrón 200 IQ because I think even though we say lots of things about Lebrón, and he's a very obviously problematic player, in terms of court IQ and paddle intelligence, unmatched for me.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe, Coello, also incredibly intelligent player, but I think Lebrón is up there.
I agree with that as well, though.
He can have better shots, worse shots, but if we look at in terms of paddle IQ, the best. The way he was playing, knowing that, lobs weren't an option because of Augsburger. The way he was playing perfect chiquitas to gain that net. Very intelligent shots. Dude, he had Nenno on the other side. So we've talked about Stupa Augsburger. On the right side crossover, he had Nenno dancing.
Right, okay.
Dude,
Which
dancing.
is, yeah, you know, if
Nenno was like up, down, like Chiquita blocking, like Lebrón was doing whatever. It doesn't mean that he necessarily won the points, but from that perspective, Lebrón was like, you know, lobbing him perfectly on the volley, like a quick lob, so he couldn't get that to push them back.
And we did just praise Nenno for having one of the best defenses on the tour right now. So, you know, if he's moving around like that, then, you know, he's finding those angles, pushing him in the right spots where, you know, you're trying to stress them out and play inconsistently.
One thing, though, that I saw consistently throughout the tournament with Nenno, and I don't know exactly why it is or what it is, but it seemed like he felt a bit overwhelmed with the lobs. What do I mean by that?
Nenno did.
Nenno did, right, okay. Yeah. So when they lobbed him.
Right.
I think maybe because their strategy with Augsburger, as we said, is like trying to getting those volleys like really short and sliced to like make them die. So to me, it felt like he was a bit... Augsburger can do that because he's very quick coming back and he can, you know, smash it back from like the back of the court like that, as we've seen a million times. But Nenno felt like he was a bit, overwhelmed. He always, many times had to return lobs with like
a weird,
really like stretched, like ganchos and stuff like that. Not like the classic biboras we're used to him playing.
Yeah.
So that'd be like my only tiny criticism.
I see.
Not that it really mattered that much, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is kind of like the weak point, right, in this pairing, right? If you think of just the basic strategies, right, you don't want to really lob Augsburger, so you're going to try lob Nenno, especially if you can get it on his, like, you know, non-dominant hand, so he's like even more awkward right there. Yeah. So, you know, that's like the straightforward strategy, right? And if he's already getting put under pressure like that and dancing around, you know, that's kind of the way to go. And I'm curious how they kind of combated it going into the third set, though, because that's kind of when obviously in the second set, the momentum switched a little bit.
Into the second set, we saw complete like switch over. It went 6-3 to DiBurger.
Yeah.
And as we were saying before, and we could really see it in the set how Augsburger needs that crowd to get pumped up. How he was asking for some noise.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's the scariest thing ever. And he's just turning.
As soon as he I think first set he saw, okay, I need to do something here because I'm not getting any lobs. All the aerial game is to Nenno on the perfect time.
Yeah.
Or they're either trying to come to us with chiquitas and other shots, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as he saw the lob on Nenno, he did that quick switch around to his side. Boom, getting winner after winner after winner after winner. And that really, I think, pumped him up and made him come out on top on that second set. I have them in my notes here still, even though Lebrón was arguably the worst player of the semifinal. Game, still, beautiful paddle from him.
Yeah.
Disregarding the unforced errors, which we'll get to them now in a bit. But yeah, so they lose that set, and then what happens?
Mental game.
And then we've got Lebrón deflated.
It's such a shame, man. It's such a shame. This is obviously like not breaking news or anything, man. But to see the mental shift just drop off like that is so disappointing, man. Like you're praising him on his paddle IQ, but the emotional IQ is like
literally
is such a letdown sometimes because you kind of want to watch like that's like the best part of sports sometimes, though, right? When it's like, you know, you're seeing one of the best get put under pressure and they're figuring out in their head, but really Lebrón is almost like this. It's like he's at the end of the tether, really, and he's just like, okay, fuck, like we lost that 6-3. It's you know it's one apiece now.
Like, and it wasn't even one of his worst, not by far, you know, because he wasn't like, it wasn't crazy. He wasn't like screaming or anything. It's just like it's just his demeanor. It's his body language. It's the way he like
looks at Stupa.
Stupa was absolutely carrying him.
Right.
Absolutely carrying him.
And he still has the
And, like,
perception to be like,
Yeah.
to pull this
it's just like
behavior.
Stupa misses or whatever, and he does that classic like where he just turns around.
Yeah, the LeBron face.
The LeBron like the like that with his arms, where it's like, dude, that just doesn't help your partner
Yeah, no, it's
at all. Even though they went 2-love down in the third set, Stupa LeBron came back winning 3 games in a row for 3-2.
Yeah.
Stupa's still on fire, dominating, and I wrote here, all smells from Juan when things are going well.
Right.
Yeah, and then I think third set as well, Nenno really caught on to LeBron's pace, as I was saying before. He was making him dance.
Yeah.
Especially with Chiquitas, those like sort of really
When he just pushes
like,
the ball.
Closed angle, kind of like Chiquitas
Yeah.
to the fence, that sort of stuff. So Nenno kind of caught on to that. He was staying really close to the net,
Right.
and he was closing those spaces a lot better.
Okay, so he
closing the middle
adapted
as
real
well.
time,
Yeah.
and LeBron just
Yeah.
started kind of shaking
Yeah.
a little bit there.
And then, like, finally,
Yeah.
as my last like note and like takeaway from this semis, dude, they were what? So they lost the third set 7-6,
Right. Okay.
for a tiebreak. I think it was 5-5 or 6-5. I can't remember. It was an extremely crucial point in the game that there was this like doubtful ball.
Yeah.
It was like 40-30 to 40-30 to DiBurger,
Yeah.
and they play a ball, I think Nenno or Augsburger, like a volley down the line.
Yeah. I've seen the clip of it. So there's a lot of I say a lot. There's some discussion happening online now where people are reviewing that.
Dude, there's no discussion.
But the ball was spinning forward towards the net,
Yeah, but it's the
which is
the way
implying that it
yeah.
hit the
Look,
glass first.
I don't know,
This
maybe-
is such a funny, like, this feels like the old tale of every paddle game where it's like,
maybe I need to watch it again, but
Yeah.
I think that's besides the point. My point is, at a moment like that, and it wasn't even like he could have gotten that back super easily.
yeah,
I don't know, in my like in my head, I'm like, dude, just play the ball.
yeah,
I know it's doubtful, but like you're risking asking
Yeah.
for the VAR and then them ruling it against you.
yeah, which is what happened,
Which is
right?
what happened and gave them that like that game.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
took it.
There was a deciding moment,
It was
right?
a deciding moment. Dude, I'm like, just play the ball, because then he went to the umpire and he was like, dude, there's no way you can call
I
that
saw
in.
it.
There's no way.
Dude,
they
the
go
umpire,
to
the
the
umpire
VA
with his headset was like, yeah, chill, bro. It's
They
we're
go to
sorting
the
this out.
VAR and it's ruled in. I don't know, guys. Maybe you've seen
Yeah,
it
let
better
us
than
know.
I
What
have.
do you guys think? Because I've seen people are making demonstration and graphics and everything like that.
Yeah.
And the two go-to things, right, is that 40-degree rule, right? If that ball hits the corner of it pops up, it's
Yeah.
implying that it's in. But I also believe in the spin of the physics, right?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
especially when it's played to the mesh, sometimes it is true that it can.
This was to the glass on the back. It was, and it's it should rotate backwards in theory. Like I've never been great at physics, but it makes sense in my head.
Yeah.
If that ball hit the ground first, then hit the wall and popped up,
Yeah.
and spinning backwards, okay, that's in. But it
It
popped
spinning
up,
forward.
but it was spinning forwards, implying that it hit the glass first, then hit the ground.
I guess if it's so tight,
Yeah.
on the corner, that it's still popped. The angle is fine, but the spin is different.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the only case where the bounce is good
Yeah.
and you would call it in, but because of the spin, it's out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully in the future there's some like crazy technology that can like detect this and like extinguish any sort of like doubts or anything like that. That is just absolutely like laser. And I think even in tennis they're still having like massive problems with like Hawkeye and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it just seems like one of those things. These guys are playing at such like close levels, and it is an incredible like smash, to get a ball like that close in the pocket of the back wall and the ground. But maybe that was the absolute sort of like knife in the back for LeBron, right? That
All
kinda
I'm
pushed him
saying
there.
is maybe play it, dude. Maybe,
just play it.
Maybe play it. I don't know, but yeah.
Right.
Just
Let's look at the stats.
look at the stats real quick. So we've got, again, I think deserves praise, Nenno's consistency. We've got him with 6 unforced errors
Mad.
compared to 19 for Augsburger, 16 for LeBron, and 15 for Stupa. So massive
Right.
difference there
6.
individually, with 13 winners as well. So a very good ratio.
Yeah.
Stupa, by far, as I said, the best player. 28 winners, 10 out of 16 smashes, which isn't an amazing conversion rate, but it's the best out of all of them because Augsburger has 15 out of 24.
Right.
Yeah, so we have him with 28 winners versus 15 for Lebrón. So he even got more winners than Augsburger, one more, and he got 27.
Right.
And I think another thing to point out here is the negative ratio from Lebrón.
Right.
With
Okay. Yeah.
15 winners and 16 unforced errors.
Yeah. There you go, man.
Look, you can do 15 unforced errors like Stupa did, 15 to 16, not that different.
Yeah.
If you have 28 winners. To counter that, you know?
Yeah.
But I think 15 winners to 16 unforced errors.
Bad ratio.
It's not that the winners are the issue; it's the unforced errors are the issue.
You got to make up for your mistakes at least, right?
Especially
and
as a right-hand sided player, you're and playing with Stupa as well as we've just mentioned now with Nenno and Augsburger. Your kind of job is to, if you're not gonna be as risky as your partner,
on the right side too. You
make
know
sure
I mean?
you're consistent.
And he wasn't there, and he wasn't doing it. And always like a big detail in a game like this, that we have to bring up the break points too, which it really does echo like the pressures of the game, right? Nenno not Augsburger. Stupa Lebrón had two break points out of 10 opportunities.
Not a great conversion rate.
Not a great conversion rate, but maybe the pressure was there and they were creating opportunities. Yeah, okay. Nenno Augsburger had 2 out of 5. They got 2 break points and 5. So it's kind of like, it felt, obviously it's a 3-set game and it felt a lot closer, but it's just like.
But I mean, you can see that with the key point index, especially because Stupa in the tiebreak at the end.
Yeah.
That's the moment where I think he did 3 unforced errors in a row.
Yeah, Stupa
smashing it to the glass.
Stupa didn't lock in the tiebreak.
No, I think
he lost 7 points, man.
He felt the pressure for sure.
Which is not the first time. He's done that a couple of times now. Which obviously we kind of feel bad because LeBron's just gonna beat him up in the locker room after. But
and also we can see that reflected in the key point index here.
Yeah.
As you can see, we've got negative key point indexes for Stupa Lebrón. Key point index meaning the player's contribution and how they played in key moments of the game. So, and then we've got Augsburger and Nenno with really good key point indexes. So yeah, and I mean, if you look at the graph here, Stupa flying, best player. Then you've got Nenno as well, and Augsburger and Lebrón that were a bit, but yeah, there you have it.
And then by the end of that game, you can go. So Nenno Augsburger beat Galán.
Yep.
They just went to a 3-set game that went to tiebreak, beating Stupa Lebrón.
So they've got the number 2s, they've got the number 3s.
And they go, tomorrow we're going to play Coello and Tapia, the ranked number 1 players that are soaring ahead against everyone else.
In the finals of a P1.
And in my mind, you go, you kind of won the tournament already, guys. Like, enjoy it, enjoy the moment, and be happy that you get to the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna get into the finals right now because you can't write a better story, really. Like,
dude,
it's
what a game!
It's absolutely incredible, man. Like, really incredible. Like,
I thoroughly enjoyed that final. It was so fun to watch. Sometimes finals and games can get a bit meh. Sometimes
they're sometimes earlier games are more entertaining than the finals. Sometimes.
But I was a bit afraid of that. I was like, can maybe Augsburger especially can't handle the pressure or something?
If it went like 6-3, 6-3 to Coello Tapia, and it's kind of like, okay, you're still going up. Great storyline here. You took out number 2s and 3s, but then when you go up against the number 1s, you can't do it. But these guys actually did it, and it was incredible because that first set went 4-6 to Coello and Tapia. They flipped it over 6-3 to Nenno and Augsburger. And then I think after that, it was kind of their game, really, because they won that last set 6-4. Incredible stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we didn't actually dwell on it too much, but really my highlights for, Nenno and Augsburger playing the way that they play and what went well, essentially, is just their control at the net. To see them not, they're scared to lob Augsburger. They know Nenno's the more the defensive player, but Nenno's backup and, his concrete defense is just really everything that Augsburger needs.
Yeah.
Just to go nuts, really. And we saw the inconsistencies from Augsburger as well.
Mm-hmm.
He put a few balls
to 4
straight into the back wall.
4 dunks that he could have gotten. Yeah.
And it was moments like that where
one of us.
Yeah, exactly.
One
You
of
hear
us.
Gonza go one of us, and it's like, okay, cool. These guys can do it as well. So that happens to us. But to see Coello and Tapia at the back of the court, and it's just Augsburger, literally what we were saying earlier, like the suffocation that these guys have. But just their volleys, their balls that go, and die at the back of the court, it's insane. And this is
especially
Coello and
Augsburger, man.
Tapia
I feel
as
like
well,
he's really, I don't know, trained that or something. He's really practiced them because, dude, they're crazy, and they're up against Coello and Tapia, who are also really good at the net.
Yeah, no,
really
oh my
good.
Gosh,
Probably the best.
Yeah,
pairing
it's
at the
Coello,
net,
the Condor Falcon, eagle span,
and
man.
that's why Cardona and Augsburger they struggle with them because it was
Yes.
that like suffocating playstyle, right? But yeah, I mean, let's get into it.
Let's
I
do
guess let's break it down through sets.
First set, won by Coello and Tapia.
Won by
Kind of
Coello and
sets the initial vibes here
Yeah.
a little bit. Kind of similar maybe to Stupa, this game with Stupa Lebrón, right? Where it takes them a moment to wake up, and you kind of wait for Leo to kind of fire his engines a little bit and get a little bit of hype, hit a couple of really good smashes, and then see like, okay, I'm back into the flow of it a little bit. But I thought it was going to be a bang standard play from Coello and Tapia, right? But where did the inconsistencies come from though, Hugh?
I mean, I think it was a pretty classic set, especially from the Golden Boys.
Yeah,
dude, it's tale as old as time. I think actually, well, in this case, they broke early, but then they got broken back. So I was like, okay, DiBurger they've come here to play.
Exactly.
So then it was level again because they'd broken. Each of them had broken once. But then they came back with their classic, and they've done this so many times, like textbook, their classic break point at 4-4.
Yeah, okay.
It's always the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's at the perfect moment. They're like, okay, sure, we're gonna like take this game. It feels like they like telepathically connect, and they're like, yes, obviously we're gonna break them here, to then get a 5-4 up on their serve to serve out the set.
Yeah, and
So it was classic
Coello and Tapia.
Classic Coello and Tapia. Augsburger though was doing a lot. Bad smashes from Coello and Tapia that he did so much dunking. Augsburger. Which gave him a lot of winners there.
Are you talking when they get the smash up, but he's at the net and he can just pop it out like that?
Yeah. And I mean, because he's huge and his vertical jump is crazy as well. So the amount of dunks he can get with his like
the backhand
is
pop
crazy.
Out of there.
Let's talk really quickly as well about the court conditions.
Right.
For some reason, the final felt a bit slower.
Yes.
Geometry, I mentioned it as well. So center court, for whatever reason, as you guys know, it's about altitude, humidity, temperature. There's a lot of atmospheric and weather variables that come into play to determine the speed of a court, right? Madrid is on the called the Iberian Plateau, I think.
This is Hugh's geography lesson.
Yeah, so in the middle of the country,
just
so you know, it's pretty interesting though. It's a plateau. It's not a mountain, meaning it's like an elevated surface, but it's flat on top, right? It's like a table, basically, right? So there's a big one of those in the middle of the country. Madrid is in the dead center of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So Madrid is, I think it's 500 meters above sea level, which does play a big
those
role.
balls are gonna.
If you play in Barcelona and then play in Madrid, the court difference, the speed
difference
of the ball is you can smash a lot better in Madrid than you do in Barcelona, right? Especially like there's no humidity in Madrid either because they've got no body of water around them. So yeah, in this case, it was a faster court, I would say in general, but for some reason the final felt a bit slower. I don't know what that's due to, but yeah.
Even with the smashing capabilities of the 4 people on this like court, what I mean? Like it's still the ball
Tapia's
still flies.
smashes were a bit short.
That's I don't want to I don't want to take the win away from Nenno and Augsburger, right? But Tapia didn't look like well. He was like pale. I think he did like a blood oxygen test after, so he was a little bit nerfed maybe, and that's maybe why his drop off as well, and that's how kind of catered to Nenno and Augsburger a little bit, but I thought I'd mention that too, but no, not taking any credit away from Nenno and Augsburger. They won that game fair and square, but kind of just to wrap up the court conditions and the geography lesson that Hugh just gave us.
That was it basically, but however, especially in the first set, DiBurger they weren't letting them smash a lot, to be honest.
I didn't see it.
I was like, this is fucking like good tactic as well, strategy wise.
So what, playing a lot of slice shots to the back of the court?
Yeah, playing chiquitas, trying to they're not even with chiquitas, just like maybe as soon as they see an opportunity, especially Augsburger, they just pressure the net.
That's
the transitions.
This is what we
are good.
So the whole tournament, it's incredible. Really.
Even if it's like an easy volley for Tapia and Coello, Nenno will usually stay back unless it's really clear that they can both push, and Augsburger will just launch himself to the front to try and find an opening there, try and surprise them. Again, great teamwork and
their chemistry, their dynamics is just like there.
Augsburger does that a lot, and I think that's a good tactic against the Golden Boys when you're trying to beat these monsters. No,
100%. And what, they kind of woke up in that second set though, right? Yeah.
Then second set went 6-3 to DiBurger.
Yeah.
Again.
That's what made the third set so juicy though, because it was literally like so one-sided each set, right? And obviously we're going to jump into that second set too, but the third set's where the show went down really. But Leo Augsburger woke up, more smashes, more pressure on Coello and Tapia. Maybe Coello and Tapia's mental game was also getting challenged a little bit.
Tapia wasn't playing his best. Coello, I think also, I guess maybe on par with Augsburger, but Coello's match was also very, very good.
Yeah.
He was trying to carry.
He had to carry, which normally most of the time, which we've seen, they can probably get away with it, right? We've seen tournament finals with Coello and Tapia, and either one or the other. In this case, Tapia wasn't playing that well. They can carry a game,
no problem,
with no issues, going against Chingotto and Galán. No problems. But this was a tournament where they kind of got proven wrong. Or
just look at the difference here. Well, here, but then also look at the difference in look how Augsburger went.
Yeah,
so this is the second set.
We got the key point index.
So if you guys look over here, this these two orange vertical lines, they're going to be around here somewhere. In the middle, that's the second set. Augsburger is dark green.
Yeah.
Look at how his player contribution index just skyrocketed.
That's when he starts shouting at the crowd and getting them hyped up.
Exactly.
And it's incredible to for the number nerds out there to see the data reflect that, right? And he's just like, all right, let's go. Let's gain our momentum. And it's just kind of like an upwards trajectory there. And this is kind of when the boots of Coello and Tapia start shaking a little bit.
And they gave the Golden Boys a taste of their own medicine, because they broke. Again, it wasn't 6-4, it was 6-3, but they broke in the precise moment.
Yeah.
They were 4-3 up, and they break them for a 5-3 to serve out the set 6-3, right? Yes. So they did something that not a lot of pairs managed to do, which is break Coello and Tapia.
I will reverse this now and say, this is just one tournament, and they played so well, and they similar to Cardona and Augsburger, I think they have a little bit more. I'm talking about Augsburger Nenno having a little bit more substance to their play style, a little bit more like tactical encryption, if you want to call it that. They're kind of disguising a lot of their play styles. But the more they play together and the more they perform like this, the more of a worry that they become to other pairings like this weekend. I think the more studying, the more understanding how they operate will become decoded essentially by the top players. So
that's a good point.
I am interested to see how, even next week in Roland Garros, right? How they battle up against, if they make it through to the quarters, semis, or even finals again. It would be amazing to see.
Yeah.
I want to see that game where they go, they cracked them and they figured them out a little bit.
Because it's a new pairing, right? So it's kind of new. They exactly as you said, they've got these hidden tactics that the world hasn't seen yet.
So they go like, oh shit, what the hell was that?
But it's and this is what Chingotto, Galán, and Coello Tapia say all the time, on press conferences and stuff. They faced each other hundreds of times.
Yes.
Always in finals, and they always say we know, both of them say, we know exactly what to do
Yeah.
already. Obviously, there's tweaks here and there, and they're going to try new things because they can't just stay the same.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes Galán versus Coello Tapia are, like, it's like mirror. Of,
Yeah,
like,
no.
the tournament from last week is like, Chingotto Viola,
Yes.
Coello to block. Like, you know, it's so...
It's like simulated game
because
almost.
they've played against each other so well. And if you do, like, paddle especially is a game that, like, also because it's a pairing, like, individually,
Mm-hmm.
you can really, like, figure people out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
you've got
You know their
Tapia's
strengths.
playstyle, you've got Coello's playstyle. You face them always on the same side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to be either in front of you or cross court from you.
Yes.
So it's like it's just so repetitive, I feel like.
No, it is. That I mean,
but
even
yeah.
as a viewer as well, you know,
Yeah.
like it's.
But that's a very good point.
Yeah, I am. I'm just curious to see
I hadn't thought of
how
that.
the longevity or how the rest of the season plays out or
Yeah.
how their next tournament's going to be, really. Because they have all the confidence they need.
Yeah.
They have all of the proven track records. You know, they kind of just shut down the three big the teams in one tournament.
Yeah.
And that gives them so much to ride off on. But yeah, I want to see how the other teams respond to this a little
Yeah.
bit and how they interact with it and
Yeah.
get their revenge a little bit and humble these guys because these
Yeah.
guys must be on cloud
Yeah.
9 right now. I mean, we did see them at the end.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched the
No,
third
no,
set yet.
But like, let's not forget as well. I think it's important to say we've seen so many projects
yeah,
of like teams just go terribly wrong.
yes,
You know, also the debate we've spoken about before of like what's happening with paddle. Are they not giving enough time to each other? Is it all about individual ranking and not pairings? But like they played the Tarragona P1 before the break together, the Nenno Augsburger. They lost in quarterfinals
Yes.
against Coello and Tapia,
okay, yeah,
which is fair enough, you know. And now their second tournament together, they've gone to win it, you know.
yeah, no.
So it's not like yeah.
That's why
I'm-
it's just such a shock, though, as well, though,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, you kind of you have to, or the closest team that you would compare them to is like, okay, cool, like Cardona and Augsburg just split up. How are Cardona and Teo doing? You know what I mean? And it's also like they're having their growing pains as well, and you know, I bet they're kind of both looking at Nenno and Augsburger a little bit like,
Yeah.
you went all the way to finals and you beat all three of these guys. Like that's
Yeah.
incredible. Like
Yeah.
really. So, yeah, that's just like the
Mhm.
most exciting part, really.
Yeah.
But let's get into the third set and then we'll
Let's
do the
do it.
stats. All right, let's get into that third set then.
So you were saying, yes, third set. Went 6-4 to Nenno Augsburger.
yeah.
I
I mean, at this point, Augsburger was just like locked in. Nenno was there supporting him as much as he needed to. And I said it earlier in the episode already, but just seeing Augsburger wind up for his smashes, have the confidence, even getting the praise from Coello as well, receiving a smash that just goes so high up, and Coello's in the back like,
yeah.
that was fucking crazy, man.
Like,
How can you
and
do
if
it?
Coello
Like,
can't get to it, no one can.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably like we're talking about like a 3-meter
it's insane. Like
jump, height, arm, and racket.
It's really insane
Probably
how
3
high he
meters or
can
more.
pop that ball up. Like
Yeah.
it really is, man. Like and even though he can make those mistakes, which we're really like figuring out the dynamics of like Augsburger and Nenno. We kind of know some of their early weaknesses and strengths, really, right? And we've said it already. The fire and ice combination. Augsburger bringing the fire, the ice with Nenno.
Mhm.
And yeah, Augsburger make those mistakes that you need to do to like lock in and get those smashes, because when he's actually like dialed in, the confidence is there and he's ready to go and he can make these
Yeah.
balls fly up. It's like the best thing ever. Like I get so much enjoyment
Yeah.
watching him, like
Yeah.
literally like seeing these balls fly up the sky, go out the court, seeing Tapia and Coello both like running around trying
Yeah.
to figure out where this ball's going to go.
Mhm.
It's the best.
And I
like,
think this winning the second set
Yeah.
gave him especially, but also the pairing Nenno. It's always better to come into a third set having won the last one. I think
if you win
with
that
that
first
with
set,
that momentum.
yeah.
You win that first set, you lose the second, you're like, oh fuck, we could have ended it
we
here,
just kind
but
of
we
reset.
didn't.
Yeah,
So now we have to go into a third one.
true.
Winning the second is like that was our only option, and now we gotta go.
Yeah, there's like nothing to lose. Yeah. Well, we'll say the mentality of Coello and Tapia though is like almost bulletproof,
No,
right? Like,
obviously, yeah. But just I think in general terms, it's probably a bit easier to go into.
with that momentum,
Yeah.
especially as we keep referencing like Leo needing the hype of the crowd, the hype within himself, and
Yeah,
to ride off that set to set, like that's just incredible, right?
Yeah.
And we got an incredible set. Like I mean, come on, 6-4. But where did things go wrong for Coello and Tapia? Was it already done after the second set? I don't know. I thought Augsburger was going to get injured as well. I thought the game would end early as well. Yeah. And I was just like, I think that's when they brought the cheerleaders back on. And I was just kind of like, get this game back on. Oh, that's when they were doing the kiss cam, actually. And I was like, we need to finish this game because it's going to be such a shame if Augsburger like goes out with an injury and we never get an answer. Terrible. It would have sucked so much. Yeah. So I'm glad that he walked back on that court. And I was just like, holy cow, man. Like, it really is. And I guess maybe the stats here kind of will back up. Like,
I mean, but it's... I think Augsburger was just kept smashing more and more. At one point, even Gustavo Pratos told Coello Tapia in the benches, told Tapia, your lobs down the line to Nenno have to go, they have to kiss they have to kiss the side wall defense, because Augsburger just scoops them up if they're not and then I guess that also gives Nenno an advantage, because then he gets well-placed lobs on his right shoulder and he can get those nice biboras with an angle, right? But that's the only option. I'd rather get a bibora from
Nenno
than a smash from Augsburger,
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
And I think it was just in general, I mean, there wasn't anything crazy from this third set.
No.
I think only to point, it was just very crazy, very tense, very chaotic.
We were kind of riding the adrenaline.
Both teams were holding on, but then DiBurger found that again break at the perfect moment to take it 6-4. I will say as well, just to sprinkle on a little bit, maybe Coello got a bit tired from trying to carry the whole game.
Yeah.
And he sort of fell off a little bit on the third set. He was making more unforced errors than usual.
No, that's kind of what I mean as well. When both Nenno and Augsburger are up at the net, they're kind of just waiting for them to make a mistake and to see them, put that ball into the net, and it's just like, damn, man, to see these guys pressed up, stressed out a little bit, and to see the other guys like Nenno and Augsburger in full control. Yeah, all props to them. And then they went on and fucking took the tournament winning point, which by the way was incredible because it was just like a signature Augsburger smash, right?
And you could just feel it. I was like, I could see it through Augsburger's eyes as soon as that ball went up. I was like, come on, finish it in style. I know you want to. Yeah, I know you want to.
It's incredible. Yeah. And they kind of both just stood there in shock, right? We can talk about the emotions after the game now because we're kind of at this point. Yeah. And that
how much it meant for Augsburger.
That was really cool.
Dude, this is his first Premier Padel tournament, right? It's huge for him. Massive.
It's a great moment in sports, really, or these are the moments that we kind of live for in when you consume a sport, like any other sport. But to see them both stand there in shock, Nenno not being in this position for a few years now. This is Augsburger's first one, a bit of a wild card pairing, if you want to call it that, because there was a lot of promise with Cardona and Augsburger, and that decision.
Everyone was shocked.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of questions, right? And this is them answering those questions. This is why we split. Okay, it's not just about our ranking or whatever. It's on paper, yes, it makes sense, and to see that come to fruition, and I'm sure they get to relive and breathe a little bit more, being okay, this makes sense right now. Because to see these guys just sit on the bench at the end of the game,
bawling their eyes out,
they're in shock, man.
Yeah.
And to see that level of emotion is just the best part, really. And you get to live it and watch it with them.
And I will say as well, it's just adding to that, I guess I wrote it down here, great personality from,
oh my gosh.
I mean, as a pairing, to go there to the final and be we're here. Many players would feel deflated, would feel intimidated, nervous. I'm sure they were nervous, but they were no, we've come here to play.
Yep.
Let's fucking go. Let's play. And they did it. Some players, I don't know, for example, Stupa. I don't think he's really good at that. Sometimes he's easily crackable under pressure, kind of thing. But Nenno and Augsburger were both with their own reasons. It's kind of it's quite poetic and cinematic. One was the veteran that still had something to say.
Yeah, to prove.
And the youngster who's his first, he's reached one of the many mountains he has to climb,
It's anime storyline, you know what I mean? Literally. Story arc here where it's.
So I think the biggest takeaway out of all of this is, as you said, Venn diagram, yin and yang, fire and ice.
Yeah.
Augsburger was exactly what Nenno needed. Nenno was exactly what Augsburger needed.
Yeah.
In terms of chemistry, mentality, emotion-wise, how well they get along with each other, paddle point of view. It's the perfect. It's like
all of the cogs locked into place, and it literally made so much sense.
That's my biggest takeaway. I think out of all of it.
I think so as well, and I kind of love seeing that, right? Because it's not easy to see that. It's not easy to achieve. It's not easy to predict, and it's not like, okay, they get to train and they get to test out. They play alongside each other. They've played at the same clubs over the years, but to actually go down on a tournament, Premier Padel tournament, P1s, P2s, or even majors, like next week, to see that actually like play out the science or the methodology, like Greek gods and stuff, play out and actually go, okay, like this makes sense, and it's not like some awful slow car crash where you get to watch two people that you love watching in the sport just dwindle and get frustrated and not be able to show up. So it's great to see them like
or two players that might be super good individually and then not
work at all.
Yeah.
And no, that makes me super happy for them. And you know what? Let's run through these stats as well, because it's not very often we get to run a final stats where Coello and Tapia plays against and they lose. So I kind of want to see how tight this was, despite the scoreline. But like, I want to know first of all,
give us the winners and the unforced errors.
So from Tapia and Coello, 47 winners versus 41 winners against Augsburger Nenno, right? But let's talk about unforced errors here. 33 unforced errors for Tapia versus 29 unforced errors for DiBurger. And that's
it's not a massive difference.
It's like the seesaw a little bit of balance, right?
Yeah, one's got more winners, the other one's got more unforced errors.
Exactly. And then if we jump to the break points here.
Yeah.
9 opportunities created from Coello and Tapia, but they only converted 2 break points. Whereas there was only 4 opportunities for Nenno Augsburger, but they converted 3, right? So
that's a 75% conversion rate.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It's incredibly consistent and high. And, even though they didn't have that many opportunities, you kind of touched on it earlier, but it was like, once you create the opportunities, but you can't convert them after a certain percentage where you're just like being unsuccessful, that's, a red flag in my eyes, because the confidence isn't there. You couldn't win in high pressure moments, and that's really like a break point or the breaking point of like a game like that scored like tennis. And that's it. 89 points won from Coello and Tapia, 95 points won by DiBurger, and it's just like, okay, the numbers on the board here, but if we look at their individual stats as well, right, we got 18 winners from Tapia, 20 unforced errors.
So again, a negative balance.
Yeah.
Uncommon from Tapia. As you can see, his line bought it like the bright purple one.
Who's dropped off.
Which worst player of the match.
Might be down to he wasn't at 100% that game, but who cares?
Inconsistencies. But yeah, having a negative balance there, just like Lebrón did in the semis, I think is...
Yeah.
It's just very bad.
Exactly.
Bad.
And then if we look at Coello here, we have 29 winners with 13 unforced errors. So he was there. And as we said throughout this whole segment here, that he was carrying Tapia, that's for sure. But then now if we look at the numbers here for Augsburger, right, he has 34 winners.
Out of 41 total for the team.
Yeah. So, he's finishing...
Like 80, what's that, like 80% or whatever?
The majority of points here by far are won by Augsburger, which, down to their dynamic, their chemistry, their job roles in terms of what we've been speaking about today. He showed up and he did what he needed to do.
Because then you can make 20 unforced errors. I mean, ideally not, but if you counter that with 34 winners,
exactly.
As you can see, Tapia did 20 versus 18, 20 versus 34 for Augsburger, which is like huge.
It compensates, right? Because then you look at Nenno's stats with only 7 winners, right? And that's 9 unforced errors. And it's just like, okay.
It's also negative, but, right? It's
9 unforced errors in a game as well.
It's the combo of these two, wherever they are here.
Yeah.
Just if you can combine the numbers that these two green players here, it's like...
It locked in. It worked. It actually worked, which we're kind of like, holy shit, they know what they're doing. And that's how we can see Coello and Tapia take a loss here and see, a pairing like Augsburger and Nenno, which I don't think anyone would have pulled their name out of a hat saying, hey, we just took a month break. Let's go into our first tournament. Okay, who's in the final? Nenno Augsburger against Coello and Tapia, like, it's just it's the most unpredictable outcome really for this pairing.
It's
and
crazy.
And they won it, and it was an absolute great tournament, guys.
Yeah.
Like, really, it was a fantastic tournament to come back to after the break. And
wait 1 second before we
yes.
finish. Oh yeah, there's something I wanted to say.
You scared me for a
Sorry.
second, dude. Holy shit.
Actually, 2 things I wanted to say just to like round it off.
Yes.
Put the cherry on top. So just again, I guess to we've talked a lot about Augsburger, praised him, just so that we understand how good Nenno is as well.
Yes.
We've got 9 unforced errors in the final, the most consistent player of the entire game. Then if we look at his semis with 6 unforced errors,
right,
by far also the most consistent player. And then if we look at his quarters, 7 unforced errors paired, like tied with Chingo.
Yeah.
Just so we see the amount of unforced errors he's done in 3 games, 2 of those to 3 sets.
Yeah.
For a total of, I'm not going to count, but however many unforced errors in like
No,
6 hours of paddle.
The consistency,
you know what I mean?
is
like,
insane.
It's crazy.
Like, really is insane. And that's a great like stat to measure up against his performance there. And you know, it's the Nenno, man.
Yeah.
It's like, really, like, to see a player like that you know probably deserves a lot more praise. And yeah, that's actually crazy when you like measure that up against like, you know, some of these, you know, he's playing against the best players in the world and he's like hardly making any unforced errors, which is
crazy.
Just...
Well, it's what he does, right?
Yeah.
And then if we also look at this is a stat that we don't usually look at, but I think it's worth mentioning it here in this final. We've got, I mean, in terms of team-wise, as you said, like the winners and the unforced errors, we can't really dissect a lot from that because it's pretty equal. Break points, they got 1 more. If we forget about conversion rate, it's just 2 versus 3. So you could say, oh, they just broke once more than they did, so that's why they won. But I want to turn your attention to the forced errors, which is something that we don't talk a lot about.
Yeah.
Because we've got 7 and 6 for Augsburger and Nenno, and 10 and 11 for Tapia and Coello, which I know might not be a massive difference, but if you think about it, it's like 9 points 9 times that DiBurger made them miss.
Yeah, they put the pressure on them, and
even if it wasn't a direct winner,
yeah,
like a smash or like a passing shot or whatever, they at least made them miss, which is also counts.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, that's
also
I mean, yeah, it's one thing, you know, that's a great thing in paddle. Like, sometimes you just make your opponents make the mistake, and, you know, especially at amateur levels, that's a great thing to do. But to put the pressure on them and be like, hey, try and return this.
Yeah.
I've got you in the back. You're spinning around. You're dancing around.
Also, it's something worth to look at, you know? And then if you look at points 1, 89 versus 95, the difference in taking a P1 trophy lies in 6 points.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe, you know, these forced errors in these 6 points did make a difference.
That's a great point. You know? It's like the tiny details there. This is how close the game really is. But even though you look at a scoreline that's like, you know, 4-6, 6-3, 6-4, like, you know, it is really tiny
Which
margins.
Looks like a very even match, and it is. You know?
It is, and that's the numbers. That's where I have the stats. So good to have these stats back.
Dude, it makes you,
no, that's brilliant. Right. But yeah, look, we're actually not fully done yet because we do have a shout out. Normally we do touch on the women's games, but you know, there's so much paddle we can consume over a certain amount of time. But we did really want to shout out Bea and Claudia because they took on their old teammates who are currently like the number 1 in the race, right? And yeah, we just wanted to shout them out. It's not like we forgot them, but just really happy to see the younger players like take on their older, sort of more successful teammates, and they won it 3-6, 6-1, 6-4, going 3 sets. And you know, gosh, you know how well Geometry Eye is, how well she plays. Same for Delphi Brea, and to take them on, to see the more consistency. I think Hugh came up with a great stat here now because they've now, these 2 pairings, Geometry Eye, Delphi Brea, have gone up against Claudia Fernández and Bea González 7 times now. And Bea and Claudia have won it 5.
Yeah.
So
out of 7.
It's
and you would think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah,
right?
you would expect it, but just we wanted to, you know, give them their flowers as well. And
the stats will be, we won't go into detail, but they'll be
we'll pop them up
as
anyway.
Well. Yeah.
And you can pause. But yeah, and we also have one more segment here because we want to look into the future because Paris is already happening as we're recording this episode.
Yes.
And we can't really predict
We're
the future.
going to Roland Garros,
Yes,
baby.
one of the best tournaments, I reckon.
Yeah.
It has to be. So much history, and to put paddle up next there, where a lot of history has been made in the sports world, just feels very, very good.
What's that thing they have? I love that they have it on center court. I think where they play. Oh yeah, victory belongs to the most tenacious.
Yes, okay.
They have it there
Yes.
on the stands.
It sets like a great tone to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
prestige
It's
of
fucking sick when like Nadal
yes.
on his like
yeah,
fucking
think of the legends that have stood there, you know, like
on his 14th Roland Garros win, like hell yeah it does, bro. I'm tenacious as fuck.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And right now, just because we've been glazing up DiBurger, which I'm not too keen on that nickname, guys. I don't know if there's a cooler one, but we'll workshop it. I'm curious to see how their momentum carries over to this tournament. I want to see them perform. I want to see, obviously, there's so many factors that take into place. But I'm just really excited for that. And we'll see how Coello and Tapia is. Hopefully Tapia's not actually sick.
Yeah. We'll see court conditions as well, how they affect the play style and everything.
And we just got a major coming up. So it's good to be back. We're back in the studio.
It's awesome to be back.
And yeah.
Before we finish, because I don't want you to then feel bad because you missed it, because I think you made a really nice note about
it is a really nice note.
So just
that.
give us 1 minute.
We should have wrapped this in on the men's final, but we're talking about Nenno and Augsburger, right? Nenno having a lot more experience than Augsburger being the fired up guy with a lot of power, the biggest smash that we've seen so far in Premier Padel, right? And I like Nenno's comment on him right after playing this tournament, and he goes, "It's incredible." He goes, "Leo is crazy. He's like a serial killer. His youth has rubbed off on me, and I know he has no limits. He will be number one," right? So, kind of on our predictions, or our next feelings with how these guys are going to go forward with, playing in the Paris Major. It seems like the confidence is there, that's for sure, and the belief and the synergy between these two players now. Like there's no question marks in terms of how good they are, because they can say that they beat the top 3 teams or the top 3 pairings, and now it's kind of about consistency, being able to tap back into that, and
they've made their mark.
They've made their mark, right? And they can enjoy it, that's for sure. But I do want to see them. I don't want to see them disappear, basically.
What I will say, though, is I think I agree with Nenno. I don't know if it'll take... It's a funny quote, but if you just take the last sentence...
Yeah.
It might take 2 years,
he will 3 be
or
1.
5. I am convinced that he will be number 1.
Yeah.
If he keeps it up like this, he's super young.
Yeah. He's too valuable, really. Like,
and
he's
then
such a valuable
when
asset.
Lebac has his vertebrae back in place or whatever happened,
he's coming back for the Germany tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick.
So he's going to be back not for the major, but for the tournament after that.
Okay. So I'd like to see him, let him play, because he's lost a lot of momentum.
Wait, is this your dream pairing here?
This is I love Lebac. And when Lebac and Augsburger were playing together and coming up together from like way back in the rankings, like when they were 70, 60 in the world.
I see.
And they were making moves and shocking people. Lebac is the future of the right hand side.
Oh wow, huge statement.
Along with Yanguas, and I think
I'm down to see that.
I might be wrong, but I love his play style. I love Valentino Lebac. Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's a lot to look forward to, and we don't like seeing a player get injured and go out for a certain amount of time, but he's back. He's back in Germany, which is a P2, and we'll see. Who knows? Who knows who Augsburger is going to play with? Who's going to call him up? You never know. It takes one call from one of the top 3 players to be like, "Hey, do you want to play with me?"
You mean?
No, I mean,
in the future.
I mean Augsburger.
Oh, in the future.
Augsburger. I mean Augsburger. To become number 1. I don't know. There's a few other players that might be really good to play with him. But there's a lot to look forward to, guys, and we're back. And I hope you enjoyed our episode.
Thank you so much, guys. It's great to be back.
Yes.
As always, please comment, like, subscribe. It really, really helps us. Follow us on Instagram, please. We post short form content there. We're really excited about this last sprint till the end of the year. We've got some exciting things planned and coming. So thank you so much from wherever you are. Massive thank you. We'll see you next week.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.